Lol.
Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, as three people try to carve out time around their wives' schedule to record a podcast.
I don't know if my wife's supposed to do my podcast.
Okay. Welcome to Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast. A show where we discuss tips, tricks, and tools to help Respawn know what the hell he's doing. What makes us different? Well, we are just two average playing Titans who have taken pity on a hunter who doesn't seem to know what's going on. But we are dedicated to keeping him up to date and informed on all things Destiny. This is our show of how it all plays out. Why do you sound like you're sitting on the other end of your room?
I don't know.
It does sound different.
I don't know.
I asked him earlier.
Is this better?
How does
Is this
my
better?
audio sound? And he said, "Oh, you sound fine."
Oh, him or me? Which him? Which you?
Respawn.
You sounded fine earlier.
He sounds like he's talking like from over here.
From way back here?
Yeah. It's like way back. We're doing a podcast from distance today.
Speaking into the opposite end of the microphone?
Well, I'm in a hotel.
So this week at Bungie for the 12th of September, we
Well,
are speaking at a distance.
Well, you're very far away in the old land. I must scream so you can hear me. And Respawn's over in California or something, so I must scream so he can hear me too.
Is
I am
he?
in California.
You're in California.
Yeah.
Are you okay? I wasn't sure. He's in the land of blue screen. That's where blue screen lives. I don't know exactly where in like
to the mic now.
in like the 400 trillion miles of California, but somewhere in California, he and blue screen are in the same place.
So did you saw the notes, right, Damon?
I have seen the notes.
Okay, so you said make the letters real big, and I said no, I don't need them big. I just need them highlighted. So he put buffs like the biggest thing on all of the pages and highlighted it. And then if you scroll down to nerfs, he made it little bitty.
Yeah.
So
I'd still
highlighted.
highlighted it for you.
Yeah, but there's a nerf. Obviously, there is at
nerfs
least
is
one
bigger
nerf.
than last week. Yeah, well, honestly, I had the buffs and the nerfs from the week before, and I'm going through this. I'm going, well, you sort of put them all together, Bungie. You last week they were like, here's what we've nerfed, here's what we've buffed. This week they're like, well, we made this better, but we made this worse. We made this better, but we took this away. So really, it's all it's buffs and nerfs living together in this new blender of a world we're going to have in Shadowkeep land.
What I like is Panoramic's enthusiasm. When he contacted me last week and he went, I'm really looking forward to this show because you say at the beginning, you should hopefully get through with it really quickly. And he said, I looked at the running time and realized it was 2 hours. He went, you didn't get through it quickly, did you? And I was like, no.
He said the same thing to me. He's like, I love when you guys are like, all right, this should be quick. He's like, I looked at that. He's like, I looked at the YouTube video. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes. You failed miserably. He's like, at that point, you were like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I'm sitting here talking to Blue. It's like, not Blue. Sorry, Peroty. And God, I miss Blue.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. We will hit some milestone. Okay. We just passed 10,000 downloads.
Right.
We hit some milestone. We'll have Blue back. This is episode what? This is episode 34. So
Yeah.
at like maybe 50 episodes or 20,000 downloads, something we'll have Blue back. So if you want to hear blue screen back, bump those numbers up.
It's not even my fault. It's a Freudian slip, right? I meant to say Peroty and then said Blue. So
That's right. You people are all just voices in the internet to me. You could be AI living in the clouds in Northern Virginia for all I know. None of you people are real.
Maybe I am. But anyway, so I was looking
Well,
at
you
the
have
notes
no
this morning,
doubt.
and I was talking to Peroty, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, wow, this ain't gonna be too bad. There's only like 6 pages. And he goes, yeah, with like kind of a pause, and he goes, but it's gonna be longer than just a few minutes or whatever. We should knock it out in 20 minutes, but it's gonna be 3 hours long just because why not, right?
No matter what we do, it's going to be 3 hours. That's just how it is.
No, it's not. Have faith.
It's
I
going to
have
be
faith
long. It's going to be
That's
long
gonna
enough
be
to
longer than
take
3
down.
hours.
It's going to be 2/3 of a garage cleaning out, but like 2.5 times bringing down trees in the backyard. Somewhere between those 2 times, that's where we're going to end up.
I'm a big fan of these measurements. Can we make these official?
What do you mean? That's part of metric. That's part of the metric system.
Oh, okay.
Where do you think the measurements come from?
I didn't know that.
It's not absurd things like the circumference of someone's wrist, or the size of a thumb, or the length of a forearm. No. These are the actual measurements they came up with.
So somebody out there, whoever's listening, Google this or whatever because I can't remember the guy's name, right? So
Why
yes,
don't you
I know
just Google it while we're talking now?
because I don't want to. I'm lazy.
If only you had a computer.
If only you had the means.
Okay. I've gone to Google.com. There's a lady staring at me. Okay, what am I looking for?
Man who is a measurement, who is a unit of measurement.
Oh yeah, the forearm man.
No. This I don't know what you're talking about, but this guy, he did a lot in the realm of science, but I can't remember what the heck his name is. But when he was joining his fraternity as a
There's
prank,
only one.
what is it?
I mean, there's only one man who ever contributed to science. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. But in his fraternity, they made him measure the length of a bridge, but he couldn't use any rulers, tape measures, any official form of measurement, right? So he had to use his height and then lay head to toe across that bridge and measured the bridge length in units of him, right? And then that was like an official unit of measurement for something else. It ended up being a unit of measurement for something, and it was official, and that was hysterical. But I can't remember the guy's name.
So we're not talking about King Henry I from the 12th century of England, who fixed the yard as the distance from his nose to the thumb of his outstretched arm.
No, not that. But that's funny. I think I heard about that at some point.
See, I'm pretty sure that's they made up this measurement system as a joke, and then the New World were like, haha, we're going to use this just to spite you, and now we have these
really
absurd
confused.
measurements.
I thought we started a Destiny podcast.
Yeah. This is
What's this got to do with Destiny?
This is in the timeline. This is in the lore. You
can measure light years. You have to measure people first. All right,
sir.
This is a stepping stone.
Have you read the entire Destiny lore? There's a ghost shell that explains all of this.
He's just he's out of touch, man. We have to.
We've just said
on the way.
Let's hope we can get through this podcast really quickly, and you two go.
No. We said it should have gone through very quickly, but it's going to last 3 hours. That is what we said, which you would know if you actually paid attention to what people say.
No, it'll only last 3 hours if we let you go off on a rant. Let's face it, it's good stuff.
Hold up. No, listen. I'm not the only one that does the rants here, okay? Has been proven in recent podcasts, okay?
Majority of them are yours.
Now, I'm not going to rant about it, but I'm going to mention it where it says there are no nerfs. There is, in fact, one.
There's no nerfs. No,
there is a nerf.
No,
happened. Yes,
the notes say there are no nerfs, so we're good.
Peroty, kick us off then. This week at Bungie for the 12th of September 2019.
Just one nerf this week at Bungie,
or possibly the 9th of December 2019, depending on how you write your dates out, which is very confusing. Because this week at Bungie, we're looking into the near future. Australia. There it is, the near future. Do you see it? Do you see them down there? Do you see the wallabies and the kangaroos? No? Okay.
Australia
well, if you don't,
exist.
Keep looking, because we have a Season of the Undying calendar, which will take us from October to December. Bungie gave us a very pretty graphic with all the good dates that I've broken down into what you actually get for buying what. We're not buying anything. So come Shadowkeep, what do you get free at launch? Free in Shadowkeep from the good people at Bungie. You get the moon, the entire moon. It's all yours. All the cheese you can eat.
All of it.
You get the season artifact.
Jeez.
You get the finishers. You get the armor 2.0.
Beautiful.
There's going to be 2 new strikes, the Festering Core and the Scarlet Keep.
That
you
sounds
get
sexy.
You get all the Crucible updates, the new PvP maps, Widow's Court, Twilight Gap, and the Fragment. You get the Crucible Labs elimination modes, and you get these season rank rewards. All that comes to you for doing absolutely nothing but loading the game into your Xbox and going, look, it's a thing. Or your PS4 or your
Only
PC.
Xbox.
Yeah,
sorry. These are all Xbox exclusive. Everybody else gets nothing. You get a dreidel to play with and some jacks. Figure it out.
Look, you're talking about jacks, but have you ever actually played with jacks? That's kind of fun.
I have.
Yeah, jacks are cool. I like jacks.
So we also have Season of the Undying events. Now, Season of the Undying, free to everybody during that season. Again, giving Bungie £0, $0, 0 Australian wallabies, giving them no money at all. You will get the Iron Banner on October 15th. You'll get
Just
the
on
new
the 15th.
Just the 15th. That's it. Only one, no, just the 15th. Just that one day. You get one day of Iron Banner.
I'm sure you get all the Iron Banners going
yes,
forward.
Yes, you get. Yeah, I believe their first Iron Banner will be October 15th. It will run for the typical week that it runs. You'll get the Iron Banner launching October 15th. On the 29th of the month, you will get both the new PvP mode, Momentum Control, and your Festival of the Lost, which runs for 3 weeks from October 29th to November 19th. Again, all of this for free. Now, if you want to hand Bungie some money and get the Season of the Undying Pass, then you're going to get the Vex Offensive, which begins October 5th. You're also going to get the Leviathan's Breath Exotic Bow Quest on October 22nd, and the Vex Offensive Final Assault November 11th. So again, Vex Offensive and harder versions of it. That'll give us all a lisp trying to say that. Now, if you want to buy Shadowkeep, the full Shadowkeep, you will get the raid October 5th. We're going to the garden. You get the raid as it launches. You're also going to get the October 8th Hero and Legend Nightmare Hunts. And then a week later on the 15th, the Master Nightmare Hunt. And then the end of the month, the 29th, we're getting the Dungeon Launch and an Exotic Quest for Divinity, the Trace Rifle. And then November 5th, we get a raid challenge. The first raid challenge, it says. I presume of more raid challenges. So go check out the 12 this week. They have a nice breakdown of what's where. And look at the bottom because there's little Shadowkeep, Season of the Undying, and Free to All Players icons to tell you what you get from which, because that's how we've broken it down. So there's a lot coming. There's a lot coming if you put nothing into the game monetarily. There's a lot coming if you pay for the game. There's a lot coming even more if you pay for the whole thing. There's a lot. There's a lot happening in this game. Again, you thought there was too much to do now? There will be more.
Let's just go back on that a little bit. Like, we've got Raid Challenge. So
look, this is supposed to be short, and we can't make it short if you keep going on rants over here.
Nobody's on a rant. I'm going back to the Raid Challenge.
Yeah, you're going back. We're moving forward. All right.
The
We don't
first
go
raid
back
challenge.
in this podcast. We move forward.
Listen,
we're going to move forward to the Raid Challenge.
Yes. So Luke Smith was the director for Taken King and King's Fall Raid, and we had raid challenges in that. And they were just variations on the encounters. And what they turned out to be is how Bungie expected the players to have actually tackled the encounters correctly. There was the ogre, wasn't there? There was Golgoroth, where you had to go around and shoot the orbs in a certain order. And what we actually found out is if we did it in the challenge way, you could actually do it quicker than what other strats were doing at the time, wasn't it? Oryx, Golgoroth, and the War Priest. So that's quite interesting, that actually like the harder versions of the raid with the challenges coming back. Do you find that quite interesting, Respawn, or you just want to keep moving forward?
Honestly speaking, I hear what you're saying, right? And I get where you're trying to go with it, but
What do you mean?
I don't know.
I'm just saying it's quite exciting that they've added extra things.
Yeah, no, I get that, but you use the whole example as that one way was the quickest way to do it, right? But in the majority of them, it was actually more complicated to do the quote unquote challenge way. You know, I mean, you could technically say every challenge was a faster way to do it. Like, hey, do a flawless run, you know, and beat the whole raid. Well, if nobody dies, then yeah, odds are you're probably going to do it faster, right? So, and if you look at it that way, what you're saying is true, but it's also really freaking hard, man.
But do you remember the Oryx fight that we had to detonate all the taken blights all at one time? And what they figured out was if we did that, we did 4 times the amount of damage that you would have done if you were just doing the one bomb each time. So when it came to the raid challenges, it seemed to work out better for the teams to actually learn to do the challenges because it actually helped the encounters because you got through it quicker and easier. And you got the double drops, which was really nice. So hopefully with the raid challenge, that depending on whatever encounter it is, you'll get better and better gear for actually learning the raid challenges. So it's quite interesting. So if anybody's interested, go back and watch a couple of like the raid challenges from the Taken King, the King's Fall raids. There's quite a few on YouTube that you can probably catch. That'd be really interesting. So it'll give you a hint at what they're actually maybe going to be doing. And they were good fun to do, to be honest. I think that was one of the things that made the raids interesting because you'd go in, you'd do the encounters, and then a couple of weeks later, they'd release a raid challenge for each other encounter it was. But it was really good because they would go on a rotation, and then some weeks they'd have all of the challenges available, and you can get through there and do certain achievements, which was quite nice. So yeah, that's quite good. And the other thing I was going to go back to is momentum control, the new PvP mode. No, we haven't heard anything about this, have we, guys?
Not really, no. But it sounds like I had in mind what it sounded like when I heard about it earlier. It's like a tug of war kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a game that it brought to mind, but now that we're actually talking about the podcast, I can't remember what it is, so I'm going to shut up.
I'm sure this is not what it is, but it brought to mind the momentum modifier of you don't get your health back unless you're moving around. Now maybe it's again my Titan mindset going, oh, I just have to run to get my health back. Great, but I'm sure, it's probably more of a tug of war of, which really isn't that what all Crucible games turn into? One team gets the momentum and steamrolls the other team. But I'm curious to see how this. Yeah, I'm curious to see what this actually plays out as. What, how the momentum works.
Maybe it's one control point, and it moves around the map, and you have to go round to it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah,
what about that game mode where you had the orb and you had to run as a team to
dunk
Rift on the guy's side? Rift.
Yeah, Rift that they're just never going to bring back. I think they fired the guy who made Rift and just promised to never.
I thought Rift was kind of fun.
I do too. But apparently they fired the guy who made Rift and have promised never to speak about it again because of all the things we had coming back.
It's Rift with a new name.
There we go. Rift 2.0. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're like, here's a new thing. We won't tell you what it is yet. You just have to buy the content and find out.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably learn something about it in the run-up to...
That is kind of scummy, though, I think. Right? Hey, buy it if you want to know what it is.
No, it's kind of great.
They're buying.
No, but it's a free-to-all players thing. You don't have to buy it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of tired of knowing every single detail about the game before it comes out. It's like, let me enjoy something. There's no longer a feeling of walking to something and being like...
I want to know what the game mode does. When it comes to weapons and things like that, I don't mind if that's a secret. I don't mind that at all.
I mean, the game mode will tell you when it launches. You hit the thing, it'll be like momentum control. It's this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it isn't that free to tiered all players. So no one's paying for momentum control.
And then we've got our Festival of the Lost, which hopefully they might change. So it might not go to the... Haunted Gardens or whatever it was of Osiris. Maybe something else. Maybe we'll go to the EAZ.
Thinking that we'd have a fast day, but not Demon. No. Demon is studying that little picture that you thought we would just kind of glance over.
Says the man who wants to go over things for the 15th time every time.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'll let you know when we get there.
And the other thing that I was going to say, the exotic trace rifle, the Divinity, that's quite interesting that we've got later on in the month, because that is one of those things where they said it's exotics with the damage buff thing. So that one, if I'm not wrong, was the one that if you put the beam constantly on the enemy, it gives you a damage buff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember in the Vidoc they were talking about this trace rifle that if it's constantly on the point, it gives you
The longer you fired, the more damage it would do. So walk out of a Titan bubble or
no, but it was more damage that your teammates would do, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Debuff the enemy.
If you debuff the enemy. So if you walk out of a bubble and fire that, you've got the bubble crit damage as well as firing that trace rifle, and then all your teammates are actually using the bubble for the extra damage. That may be quite good.
Yeah. So I found a description of someone's screenshot here on Imager of it has a judgment perk. Sustain damage with this weapon and envelops the target in a field that weakens and disrupts them.
There you go.
So maybe so
it's quite interesting that that's coming like about 3 weeks after the raid. So people will be into the raid, but it might be something that we can use for the raid challenge. So it's one to keep your eye on.
Is weaken a debuff like what we're used to when it means weaken, or is weaken directly tied to the whole disruption thing for those people that use some kind of channeling?
Yeah,
well, I think it's going to be more of a debuff.
Yeah, it's probably
like
a debuff.
The tractor cannon.
Well, it's interesting too. The disrupts is in blue, and it's an arc weapon. So I wonder if it'll like disrupt them and then make them like weaker to like arc energy only or something.
Or maybe it only disrupts arc enemies.
Yeah, or maybe that. Yeah. It seems to maybe be tied with the arc in some way. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see how these play out. And again, now that I'm happy to see them doing more interesting things with these weapons, since you can actually use the weapon as the weapon. There's a reason to use some exotic weapons again. Now that we're not just all going to stand in wells forever, we're going to dance in and out of bubbles, but still same thing. But it's nice to see things where it's like, hey, this will actually give you some reason to use it, like as a support role in addition to just straight damage. And it has a magazine of 194 in the screenshot. So who doesn't love that?
This probably isn't going to make any sense to you guys, me being a hunter and all, but I
You're
miss
right.
bubbles. I do. Like when I see a
everyone
Titan
misses a bubble.
I get like a little nostalgic. It's like, ooh, I got a dome of protection. I'm gonna go hide.
No, I know what you mean.
Right?
Yeah. When you see one, you go, oh,
yeah,
I remember that from D1.
Yeah,
I remember that so
I
fondly.
remember these. Yeah,
These used to do something. You could
I
stand
remember
in
the old
these.
days, I
You
go
could
into a
taunt
bubble and
people.
pick up 8 super orbs.
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Like I was playing comp over the weekend, and I was running as a bubble titan, and I don't remember what the map was. One of the maps with a wide open area. I was like, I want to put a bubble right here in the middle of it. My teammates were like, oh, let's go stand at the bubble with him and make them come to us. And then one of them popped an arc staff or something and ran out and went after the other team. The rest of us was like, well, we're just sit here and dance in this bubble. You can't touch us. You have to get close enough.
Did they actually dance in the bubble? Because that would be awesome.
They did, because that's what you do. You either sit and drink your coffee or you dance in the bubble. That's actually power. It makes the bubble stronger and grows it slightly 10 meters at a time by dancing.
Bubble buff.
Secret Titan buffs. The more people that dance in your bubble, the more powerful it becomes. Oh, and then you can get in the bubble and just roll it along with you like a giant, actual bubble in real life.
Hamster ball.
Oh, okay, Bungie. That's the new subclass. I need a Titan hamster subclass. That's what I want.
Actually, no. What you do is, because it's in the top tree, and you get the choice of whether you want to pop your shield and run around with your shield, or you put the bubble down. You put the bubble down, then you bring out your shield and you use the shield to push it along and roll it.
The bubble becomes a damaging entity.
Oh, yes. This is what I want. This is what I want. You can't do any damage. You can't shoot out of it, but you just have to roll people over with it. This is what I want.
It is a giant.
You can imagine that rolling into raid bosses.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, this is what I want.
The Lost Ark inbound. Here we go.
Yes.
That would be so amazing. I want it. I need it. Gotta have it.
Now I'm sad.
Sorry, guys. I'm swapping over to Titans from this point forward. Now the show's just going to be 3 Titans.
No, you're not allowed to swap. We have to stick with uniformity.
If we had a giant hamster bubble, you can't stop me. Okay.
There wouldn't be 2 other subclasses. There would only be one. Everyone would be around in a giant bubble. Now I'm a little sad that that's not actually in the game.
Sorry, we can go find some devs. Hey, I need you to make a game similar to Destiny, but instead of a Titan bubble, it's a giant hamster ball that damages enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Ready,
I don't see how this can go wrong.
Just don't do anything that might get us copyright infringement. All right, avoid that. Oh my goodness. And you can do a lot of fun things when it comes to like Titans and whatnot. Because the bubble, it being a solid object, is just it's the possibilities are endless, right? But you can't really do fun stuff like that for warlocks or hunters. They're just, how can I say this? It's like they're all there to just be about the business. Hey, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna kill enemies with my gun, or I'm gonna kill enemies with my flaming sword. And here comes the Titan. I'm gonna kill enemies with my giant hamster ball. Just the possibilities are just.
You do realize this was just something we've created.
I know, but no, the fact that you can come up with something like that.
We're gonna will it into existence.
Yeah, you can come up with something like that for Titans because of the characteristics of the bubble, right? The other guys don't have anything with characteristics that you can manipulate like that. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
You take the flaming sword, you put the flaming sword into the bubble, unlocking its flammability, and now the bubble does fire damage and leaves a trail of burning death behind it. See?
No,
Warlocks.
I know what you do.
Warlocks and Titans hunters, I got nothing for you. Sorry, buddies.
Right.
Those Victorian dresses that you get? Well, not we get, but women get.
You get. Well, yes, I'm not able to sit down on my desk with my Victorian dress that's out 8 feet around me today.
They have them corsets, and then underneath there, those kind of like wooden structures that kind of push the dress out.
Oh, put that
What
on the warlock.
What I'm exactly on the warlock, and you could just see the warlock put his hands down at his side, pick up the dress, and just keep walking, and the ring of the puddle of pee follows it.
Or no. What happens is the wooden cage underneath actually stores all of the weapons. So the warlock lifts the
it
dress.
could be an exotic.
And all the other,
it could be
all
an
the other-
exotic. This
No,
kind of
no,
Victorian
no,
dress.
No,
the warlock has to have.
The exotic. Hear me out. It works sort of like the colony. You lift the dress, and then little grenades come out, seeking everyone around you
Oh my
for
God,
the entire
yes.
duration of the super. The grenades aren't super powerful.
Metroid-style
but
bombs.
Exactly. You raise the dress, and like every couple seconds, you'll get like 2 or 3 grenades, sort of like the Arc Buddy, except it'll be like the little colony grenade robots, or even better, just the actual rabbits coming out and just
also
exploding
the
on people.
creepy image of a warlock lifting its quote unquote dress and little spider bots coming out is kind of terrifying. I gotta say, man. Oh, jeez.
Sorry, I've got nothing for hunters.
Nah, the hunters would be more
moving
practical.
on.
Like when we pop our super, everyone
Yeah,
near
I'm
us goes
trying.
invis until they attack or some nonsense.
Yeah, I'm trying. I got nothing. Maybe they'll give us something new to play with, but I got nothing.
Yeah, we get a
Oh,
stick,
wait.
a gun. And
Was
a
it
pair of
the
knives.
hunter or the warlock that had that new like veil looking exotic?
Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. So we give the dress to the hunter, and we're good. We put the Victoria dress on the hunter, and now we're good to go. He's got the veil already and everything.
It doesn't sound as funny as what it did with the warlock.
No, I'm trying to give the hunter some love. I got nothing now. I got
Yeah,
nothing.
I mean, you're stretching, and I appreciate the effort, but a hunter in a dress is not something.
Sorry,
I
hunters,
can-
you're just not funny enough.
I guess not.
Dear Bungie, please buff the hunters' hilarity. They are sincerely lacking in the ability to make me laugh. Thanks.
And I just realized that Cade is the only like funny hunter out there, and it was just because he did
And he's dead.
stupid stuff. No,
Dead.
there is
Dead.
a Cade 7.
Dead.
Nope, there is a Cade 7.
No, he's dead too.
Maybe not yet, but there will be
Also
a Cade
dead.
7.
All the kids are dead.
All the kids are not dead. Kind of.
Nathan Fillion also dead. Never
Okay.
existed.
All I can think of is like Robin Hood, like with the bows. But I'm not actually. I can't actually think of anything.
And that's what they gave us. They gave us bows. They gave us a
Men
bow.
in
They gave
tights.
us a knife. They gave us a stick, and they gave us a gun.
Yeah, but
There's not a lot you can do with that.
yeah.
You have knives.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
just
Yeah.
said that. Way to keep up, buddy. Oh,
Oh,
anyway.
I've got one. I've got one.
What?
But
What?
it's not that funny. But you imagine Machete with Danny Trejo with all
Yeah.
his knives. He
Yeah.
opens a vest with all those knives. That could be an exotic for the hunters. He opens
Well,
his
hunters
vest.
already have an exotic that's got a bunch of knives on it.
No. But you
Which
can
is
literally
unusual.
keep throwing knives out of it. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
For like the super, just keep chucking knives.
No, not even a super. It's an exotic that you know. Once you've powered up your melee, you can chuck out like keep getting knives throws. That'd be brilliant.
We've
Just
already got
that.
one that does that.
Skipping it then. I can't be
No,
bothered.
no, we literally have
There's-
one that if you get a kill, you get your knife back.
There's
Flat out.
just
I didn't
no.
even say that. I just kept saying you throw your knives out till
Okay.
whatever ran out. But whatever.
I'm a fan. Okay.
Anyway.
we have derailed this crazy train severely. I don't even know where we're at anymore.
We are at booths because we like a bit of booths.
Yeah, and really, they're all buffs and nerfs mixed together this week because Bungie didn't break them out, and neither did I. So
No,
Deal with
there's
it.
no nerfs. They're all buffs.
No, there is some nerfs that have to do
Okay,
with the
wait.
range of the weapons.
No. Let's go back.
Not
I'm-
even the range,
I'm-
the damage.
I'm going to scrap that.
There you go.
We are coming to Shadowkeep sandbox changes for weapons.
There you go. Yeah. Because like everything has a damage buff, including bows, which I'm super excited about. And there's no nerf. Did you see that? There's no nerf to the bows. They just get a damage buff flat out. I was like, yeah, boy.
they also made another change that you may not or not change so much, but just more status quo, just for you, buddy.
Huh, what?
We'll get there. So
Are we talking
They
about
made it-
shotgun again?
no, we're not. So there's a bunch of general changes they made overall. So this is the late edition. They published a 12 and then said, hey, we forgot this part. So if you read the 12 early, you may not have seen this. So weapon changes for general, just all the weapon changes. Minor enemies, the rank and file, no longer take more precision damage than other enemies. These enemies previously took twice as much damage to their precision hit locations. than enemies of higher ranks. You will still deal precision damage, but is now entirely dependent on the weapon as it is for higher ranked enemies. So basically, we were doing a lot more damage precision-wise to rank and file. Now we're not going to anymore. Weapon mods are now treated as reusable unlocks instead of consumables. Any mod you have in your inventory will be converted to unlocks. That gives you the opportunity to play with mods,
So
blah,
happy
blah,
they
blah.
did that. Oh, I'm so happy.
So now the only thing is, if the only copy of a mod you have is already in a gun, you will need to reacquire that mod to unlock it. So if you only have one of something sitting in your thing, before Shadowkeep launches. So any mod you want to have the launch of Shadowkeep, make sure you have at least one of them sitting in your inventory when Shadowkeep launches. Mm-hmm. And now we're getting to my favorite one, auto rifles. PvE damage increase between 25 and 30% depending on combatant rank. So more damage out of auto rifles. We're done. Show's over. We can all go home now.
So we had the sweet business, and then you came up with that auto rifle, the gnawing hunger, and you called it the sweeter business.
Oh yes,
this is the sweetest business, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. My sweeter business just got the sweetest business.
Yo.
And I will maybe I'll wait until. Well, we don't have a weapon spotlight for this week, so I can make that the weapon spotlight later on. Because if I do it now, Nitedemon will yell at me for not doing it later on.
But still, 150 rounds is bonkers, man.
Stop jumping ahead.
No, that's exciting. Leave me alone.
No, but with auto rifles, there were a couple of good ones to look out for, like Peroty was saying with Gnawing Hunger. But then you've also got Suros.
I was saying that, you troll.
No, Peroty said it.
Oh my god, I'm going to choke you.
You've also got Suros to look out for. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah. And that catalyst too.
Yeah. You've also got the horror story that we had from doing the Haunted Forest last Halloween for Festival of the Lost, wasn't it?
Yeah, Festival of the Lost, and the Breakneck from Gambit.
Breakneck from Gambit's another one to keep a lookout for. So if you're near finishing that for your quest, get that one done.
That's it. No other ones. Sweet business is just going to be absolutely absurd.
Well, yeah, for PvE maybe.
No, I'm with him. It's going to be absolutely absurd for everything. I don't care what you play. Sweet business.
It's going to be the new meta. It's going to be all the bullets. Yep. I'm curious if things like the Cerberus make a comeback that no one ever uses or touches or thinks about, or the Guiding Star, which is pretty good.
Ooh, the Cerberus! It is an auto rifle, isn't it?
Yeah, Ether Doctor throws a lot of bullets. Maybe the origin story will make a glorious comeback. We'll all be using origin stories. Also, the ringing nail out of the foundries, and everyone's favorite weapon, the hard light. Misfit's still going to be garbage. Break down all your Misfits. It's still going to be bad. I don't care what you say. It's still a bad gun. Uriel's gift. They're actually going to give triple the damage to Uriel's gift. So if you still have one of those in your vault somewhere, pull that out. It's going to be like D1 even more. I know you've got 57 of them. I've got one I've been hanging on to just in case.
So, Respawn, tell us about the bows.
Yeah. Damage buff. Big one. PvP.
How big?
Big one.
Not PvP. PvE?
Yeah, no, it's going to PvP one too. PvP and PvE buff.
Where does it say that?
Give me a second.
I think you just made that one up.
No, listen.
They've got damage against minor and major enemies.
Oh, that's what it was. Major enemies. My bad.
Oh yeah,
fair enough.
Pretty much everything they addressed was all for PvE. Now, are Guardians major enemies? Is that what Guardians count as?
I think that's what he thinks.
I don't think they count as anything.
That's what I've always wondered. Does the Guardian count as a major enemy? So if I put like a major spec on a weapon, does it work better against the Guardian?
I tried that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think they count as anything because I tried with the different specs and I never saw any damage changes.
So we're all just friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
PvE damage increased by 31% against minor enemies and 26% against major enemies. That's crazy. Fixed an issue where the bow draw times were displayed incorrectly in the inspection screen, and they did not. You son of a!
I thought you was going to read the whole thing. Then
I was trying to test my Ron Burgundy theory. Okay,
he was
Ron
close.
Burgundy theory not confirmed. Yeah, still no catalyst. Maybe your new bow will have a catalyst. But so far,
the thing that really gets me is for a second. Just for a split second in my mind, I thought Destiny did hear me bitching about it.
You saw the word catalyst and got real excited for a minute.
No, because I read the no first, right? So I was tilted from the beginning, but I thought that, you know, how if I was going to be super tilted, because if Bungie just literally called me out specifically for this, I was going to be like, cool, they called me out, and then I was going to be like,
yeah, like would that best be like most amazing thing and also the most infuriating thing? Be like,
yes,
really? Like,
oh my God.
not only do they address me directly, they were like, you directly, just to
Right?
you, out of the whole player base.
I mean, I would still wear it like a badge of pride,
right?
know?
They should give you an emblem for that. Be like,
Right?
the one guy Bungie has called out for his crap. It would be a picture of Deej like standing there with his hands folded, just like shaking his head, just back and forth,
Or just wagging a finger at me.
Just be like, no, I'm sorry.
With a disappointed look in his face. But yeah, so buffs for bows all around. Great stuff. Moving on.
Hand cannons. We have PvE damage is against minor enemies is increased by 30%. We have lightweight and adaptive hand cannons use a new firing animation while aiming down sights. This change was made to increase weapon accuracy when firing these weapons as fast as possible. So the example that they give is currently the players can shoot faster than the recoil animation of a 140-150 archetypes. So while the hand cannon looks to be fully reset from the recoil, the following projectile will be shot as if the weapon was still in a recoil state, which I think I watched a Fallout video and he went, that explains a lot. It was like really sarcastic. It's like,
yeah. So we've been
weapon, you think your weapon is on target, but really it's not. That's so
they're going to fix it so that
fascinating.
Yeah, it's going to be on target. So I think a couple of people were hypothesizing whether the animation would either speed up or it wouldn't allow you to kind of, you'd know that it wasn't down into the right position before shooting again, kind of thing.
I mean, that only makes sense, right?
Hey,
the gun is shooting forward, but you just shot above not just the enemy, but his entire squad's heads.
Yeah.
You know?
The first shot's a kill shot. The second shot's a warning shot to the next guy in case you didn't kill him.
And they've reduced the effect the range stat has on the damage range fall off. Effective range for this weapon archetype, apparently. So there's going to be more damage fall off.
Yeah. Increased damage, more damage fall off, and maybe your shots will actually go where you think they're going to go after the first one.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
Peroty and I were discussing this just before you got in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a video game and you got to scale it for reasons, okay? I get that. But, I mean, damage fall off for a hand cannon. I don't care if you shoot me at 5 feet or 25 feet. That bullet's still going to cause a lot of damage, right? So, now, if you're literally trying to snipe
Okay, well, don't use your hand cannon if you're trying to snipe people across the map. It's not going to work out for you anymore. Come Shadowkeep.
Yeah, Same thing with Memento Mori special round.
Same thing with machine guns.
You just keep skipping
what
ahead.
You're getting.
Yes. I do keep skipping ahead. Do you have a freaking problem with it?
I do.
Well, same thing.
Get over it, princess. Go back out and cut some trees.
So the machine guns are also getting a PvE damage against minor enemies increased by 25%. And the same thing, increase the effect of the damage range to fall off with his weapon archetype. So hopefully, no longer in Gambit, granted everyone's using the truth now in Gambit, but you can't bring your hammerhead in and snipe people across the map like you have a sniper rifle anymore. They can hit you and the bullets just go ping, 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 and then fall to your feet.
So how do you think that's going to change? Do you think they're going to go back to using linear fusion rifles?
Oh, they've already gone to the truth. The truth and snipers. That's all I've seen in the matches I've played recently. Well, not all, but largely.
Well, guys, I have a video for you later on which will enlighten you. Maybe not to use the truth.
Well, there we go. So pulse rifles basically getting the same treatment. Pulse rifles PvE damage against minor enemies increased by 28%. Increase the damage of the range fall off for this weapon archetype. The archetype is also getting specific damage changes which impact both PvE and PvP gameplay. The rapid fire pulse rifles now deal an additional one hit of damage to precision and 2.4 to base. 2.4 to body shots. And high impact pulse rifles now deal an additional 1 damage to headshots and 1.6 damage to body shots.
So this is interesting because this is what we were talking about last week, wasn't it? When a couple of YouTubers were going, if they change this, then the broadsword's going to be a really good weapon because those extra 1 points of damage that we've seen on the test builds, it's going to make like a 3-hit headshot kill for a broadsword, and then you proc the outlaw on it, and then you can just go to town. So those were highlighted last week.
But it's any high impact pulse rifle, like the 4-round burst ones. They're going to be so much deadlier in PvP now.
Yeah,
and still no one's going to use the scout rifles, even though we've increased the damage between 18 and 36%, depending on combatant rank. So again, they're trying to get us to use scouts by bringing the damage fall off to other things and giving them a big damage boost. But I guess we'll see. I still don't know if they're there yet.
No, people are just going to walk up and shoot them closer.
They're
not going to swap to scout rifles.
I've seen a couple of people using Jade Rabbit and Polaris Lance.
Yeah, but they've always been a thing. Polaris Lance isn't a scout rifle.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Oh, it is. No, I'm thinking of Gravity.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Polaris. Yeah, and like I've got a Night Watch I've been hanging on to from Reckoning or Gambit Prime. That's got some decent rolls on. I'm going I was using this for EAZ for a while. That worked out pretty well, and I was hoping it would get some love in Shadowkeep, but I don't know if that's to be enough love. But
I want the Scout Pinnacle weapon to do something. You know?
The
the
oxygen. Yeah, I have it. It's the perk isn't anything exceptional, and the scout rifle isn't anything exceptional. Honestly, the ringing nail with Dragonfly would be a lot better than the Megafauna on the oxygen.
Yeah.
With the damage to the auto rifles. Meganura, thank you. Megafauna. Kill big animals with this. It's for hunting
it's still accurate.
in the Sahara.
It is a Megafauna, so you're not wrong.
And then sidearms. PvE increase against major and minors 16% across the board. I mean, it's still a sidearm. You're still going to use it for when you need to use it. I don't know. It's nice it's doing more damage. Nice they're doing more damage, but again, I don't think it's anything. It's not going to be meta.
And again, I've got another cool video later on by a content creator which goes over a good build for a sidearm and a hunter.
Look at you, all your teases for later on.
I know.
Yeah. A content creator. Listen to him trying to keep it all.
Yeah, someone you'll never know.
I'm keeping it on the DL.
You'll never know who puts out this.
You think it's going to be Cheese Forever, or
Nah.
He only puts certain people up there, so it's got to be one of those guys.
Only certain people are doing good stuff. The rest of them are doing clickbait.
No,
Sorry, you know who you are, clickbaiters. You know who you are.
Oh yeah.
What you've got to think about is normally when we have a TWAB or we have like a few of these kind of, they go, oh, this is changing, this is changing, this is changing. This isn't the patch notes. This isn't all of everything that's going to be, in Shadowkeep. Because what they normally do is they keep a few sneaky numbers or changes until the actual patch notes goes live, and then we kind of have to scroll through it and go, oh, they didn't mention this one, they didn't mention that one, and then we have to kind of let people know. So this is, I'm guessing this is not going to be the full list of all the changes because they haven't mentioned a lot of the PvP stuff. Like with the scout rifles. People are saying, well, scout rifles need a little bit of love in PvP, but they haven't mentioned it on this. But I think the only reason they're mentioning PvE at the moment is because they've mentioned the changes to the PvE damage for like miners with the weapons and everything else that's kind of gone on with all the changes with the armor and the orb generation and the nerfs to the exotics and things. So that's why we're kind of sticking more to the PvE side. I think we'll learn a lot more about PvP come nearer either on Shadowkeep release with the patch notes or like about a week before.
Yeah, and the PvE has to be a little more consistent to test against too. You can say this captain has this much, has this much resistance, this much damage, this many hit points. that captain's more or less going to be the same captain every time you fight him. If you're going someone in Crucible, high resilience, low resilience, this, that, the other, all the other numbers you have to play with. There's a lot more variation, I'm sure, in exactly how much damage. We can say it's better. It's 16% better, but is it a kill shot? Is it not a kill shot? It's still going to be a lot more different in Crucible fighting against other Guardians with all sorts of different loadouts versus the PvE enemies they can more or less control of, he's shielded or unshielded, but here's basically what it's going to do for you.
Yeah. So sniper rifles.
Which are getting a 47% damage increase against miners and 20% damage increase for others. Just says for others. All the others.
So many others.
Which maybe already, maybe theirs. We'll see.
So that's major and boss, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So the exotic sniper rifle perk damage bonuses have been modified to compensate for this change, and they will not receive the full benefits as a result.
Not receive the full benefits, but they'll receive some, I'm guessing.
Some benefits. I'm sorry, you're only a part-time weapon. You only get part-time pay. That's how 2%. It works.
You get 2% of every other minor or major buff.
Yeah, you're going to need to work a full 40 hours if you want the full things, guys. I'm sorry, you're a part-time weapon. So you just can't keep you around anymore.
To show that I am growing as a person, I could have made some comments right now, but because of our fan base being diverse, I'm not gonna. But just know that if we were in game, I would have, and we can discuss it later when Craig's not here.
Totally noted. So submachine guns. Submachine guns are getting a damage increase by 22.5% against major and minor combatants. So submachine guns are going to be just as annoying as they are now for the enemy. And then except for the of them. And the aggressive frame. Now, the aggressive frame submachine guns, they've removed the intrinsic effect of the dealing bonus damage at close range. The bonus was 10%, but was unintentionally always active. The bonus damage has been moved to the base damage for the 750 RPM submachine guns, resulting in no damage change. So you're not going to see a damage change output, but you have been getting a 10% buff all the time when using those. And as a result, the Teraba and the Huckleberry gain 10% damage in both PvE and PvP. Mm-hmm. So you can, dust off that Huckleberry, and if you have a Teraba, run that. And that'll pair really nicely with the
dust off.
I always forget the Peacekeepers.
Yeah.
The Recluse and the Peacekeepers.
I was just saying,
and you're not using Peacekeepers.
Your Peacekeepers.
You're wrong.
Yeah, Peacekeepers and 2 submachine guns, and you're just going to shoot for days, more damage, and so going to rain down death.
Take into account that this isn't live now, so aggressive frames still get that 10% extra damage bonus when you're at close range. So you're looking at things like the hard truths, which the submachine gun for your kinetic slot. That would be a good one to use. Just throwing it out there. I'm banner next week.
Did you just try to whistle in your mic and it cut you off?
No, I whistled in my mic, but it might have just cut off.
It definitely cut off.
And so there will be none of that.
Whistle. Stop trying to whistle. You are whistle-less at this point, good sir.
So aggressive frames.
Where's my raccoon thing at? Hold on.
So I really need to find or get a list of all of the what frame is this gun and have it available at my fingertips, because I always want to look it up each week, because I couldn't tell you what the aggressive frame submachine guns are off the top of my head.
Well, when I was looking at the 12, I was kind of going, well, what's an aggressive frame? So I was like looking it up on like DIM, which is quite nice.
Yeah, so I think like the Ikelos SMG, which may or may not exist in the world, is aggressive frame apparently.
What do you mean may or may not exist? You don't have one?
I mean, I have one, but I'm saying it still may not exist for a large number of people out there.
Yeah.
I feel bad recommending that weapon. Like, use this gun that 2% of people actually own, or whatever absurd number it is.
Is it really only 2 people or 2%?
Yes, it's 2 people.
Only 2 people.
You and me. That's it, buddy. Yeah. I was looking. I think Braytech.org had some percentages on some weapon drops or bounties or triumphs or something. It was all the Ikelos stuff is like just an absurdly small number. It's down there like with the raid numbers. Like nobody has these because they never drop for anyone. I mean, it's better now. Again, I've gotten them to drop, doing the Mars week. Yeah. They actually buffed those drops, and I actually saw the sniper and the SMG.
Is that why I got myself and other drops were buffed?
Oh yeah, absolutely. They buffed all those drops because I got the sniper and the SMG, and Odie and Pan got the shotgun. Like I just saw the weapons dropping, in the feed at the end of the thing. I saw those weapons come up where normally it's like nobody gets anything. No one got the weapon drop that week over and over and over again.
Man, I was having a good day too, or at the time I thought I was having a good day. Turns out, nope, everybody got the buffs.
They buffed all that. Just like the Reckoning weapons are now dropping like it's Santa Claus coming to town.
Right. You wouldn't have guessed that you were on a podcast and we covered
the fact. If only there was a podcast that
was getting a
would
buff.
Tell you about this.
If there was only a podcast that you could listen to.
Way back to February when you said, let's be on a podcast together where we will every week talk about Destiny news.
We've discussed this. Just because I talk about it doesn't mean I retain it. And it's not my fault. It's not like listening to Demon's like monotone voice rattle off stuff every week isn't absolutely entertaining.
But sure it's your fault.
But I put sneaky little things in the podcast that you have to go back and listen for. You love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a strong word.
You do love it.
Okay. So 37% apparently. Now I'm looking at Braytech.org. They have a weapon breakdown. So I'm assuming he's pulling the numbers from somewhere. The Ikelos SMG is at 37.32%, whereas something like the Antiope D is sitting at 79%.
2%.
Right? Yeah, but it feels like that when you're running that thing over and over and over again, and it just doesn't want to drop for anyone.
And now that I have the sniper rifle, I respect the hell out of it. It's a really good sniper rifle. I mean, of course, it's out of touch, out of time now.
Yeah, you're using the wrong sniper rifle, my friend. I'm sure we highlighted a video last week where I told you which one you need.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, good. But you need it. You
need it.
What?
You say that, but I'm never going to use sniper. I'm not a sniper.
No.
Not in this game, anyway.
I'm not a sniper. Yeah, so sniper rifle is sitting at 36.92%. And yes, I'm looking these up because now I'm just curious. And the shotgun's at 48%. So, okay, so they're up. Now, I'd be curious to see what these numbers look like, let's say, a month ago before they buffed the drops. But, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, things are getting changes. Aggressive frame submachine guns, look up what they are. And again, yeah, all this stuff takes effect in October, so in 2 weeks now. So for the next 2 weeks, ignore all of this because none of it matters.
Hey, side note, just between us, was it one of you two?
Stop listening, Craig.
Is it one of you two that had told me that I play Hunter like a Titan and I should just play a Titan? Was it one of you two?
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like something we
always
say.
tell you to play a Titan.
Yeah, no, my play style. Somebody said that the way you play your Hunter is like you're playing a Titan.
I don't remember if that was a story you told us last week or if one of us said that, but either one could be equally possible.
It sounds familiar somehow. All right, whatever.
Familiar with your work. Mm-hmm. So now we're getting into some exotic weapon changes because we can't leave our poor exotics out in the cold. Like our sweet business that's now going to go from a magazine size of 100 to 150, increase PvE damage by 15%. The high caliber rounds have been replaced with armor piercing rounds, and we're getting a 0.06 and a plus 0.06 and a plus 2 to base and precision. I'm sorry, we're getting a plus 2 damage boost to base. I should just change these words.
And why did you change it around?
Well, not even that.
You were trying to get rid of the numbers, weren't you? So that I didn't read it. That's what you were doing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You altered the TWAB so that I didn't read all the numbers.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
The damage has been changed. You're gonna get 2 additional hits on body shots and 0.06 on precision shots.
So it's rewarding you for hitting more body shots than it is precision.
And the weapon no longer requires. Yeah, and the weapon no longer requires you to be firing when you pick up ammo to have it automatically reload. Yeah, and it's something that I've seen a couple of people mention on I think almost all of these, they're actually buffing your body shots more than your headshots. So you're going to get more damage for the body shots than the headshots. So it's as some of the folks have put it, you're giving people I've lost my train of thought.
You're rewarding people for shooting the body rather than going for
exactly.
Precision.
Yeah, they're like, you're rewarding poor gunplay. I'm like, or you're welcoming new people into the game, but either way. But yeah, no, I mean, especially with the sweet business, let's be honest. No one is sniping people in the head with the sweet
No.
business.
No,
Just-
with that gun.
You're going to have 150 bullets. If you get 1 or 2 in the head, good for you. It's not going to happen. Put a head seeker on that thing, then
And
maybe.
it's going to
But
be
besides
entirely
that,
by accident,
No, you
by the
can't
way.
put
That's
anything
just going to
on
be
it,
like
can you?
stray
know.
rounds. It's tagging
right?
him in the head.
Yeah, exactly. Just like guy. You see, the sweet business. The only way you're getting your headshots is you wait for the guy to peek the corner while you have the trigger depressed, and go. You're gonna peek that corner, and when you do, you're getting 57 bullets to the face, and when they
Yeah.
do, you're getting your headshot. That's about it. That's the only time.
I mean, it's going to be even worse whenever you freaking have the
The
chest
super fast
piece.
reloads. Oh yeah, the Actium War Rig, and then with the
15 rounds
with
in the
new super fast
magazine a
reloads.
second. Good lord, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Yeah, that's gonna give you even a bigger because you're getting 10 back with 100 now. So yeah, it's gonna be even worse. Worse or better
15
depending on who
rounds
you
a
are.
second.
Nitedemon will find his hunter friend in the Crucible again with the sweet business and give him a knowing look going.
That sounds
buddy.
like it's going to be.
I remember you.
Hold on, let me think. I want to say that's going to sound like it's going to be a boss killer or a major killer at least. You know,
Yeah, I don't.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna quite be there because even if it's getting that boosted damage, it's still
getting
still
a boosted
not-
damage overall.
not
It's getting
that hard a
boosted
hitter,
damage,
though.
Body shots, and
Yeah,
you get 150 rounds in the magazine.
Yeah, but
without
that's-
the Actium. Come on.
yeah, but that's still a lot of time to spin up and then reload and then spin it up again. I feel like you're
Yeah,
gonna do
they
more with a
haven't
machine,
said-
machine
Why
gun
would
or a
you reload
sniper.
that thing? You walk over ammo, you get automatic reload. You have the Actium War Rig, you automatically reload. The initial spin
Yeah,
up
to
is the
a
only thing
point,
you gotta
though.
worry about, man.
Yeah, to a point that the War Rig only does you so much when you're just unloading into things, unless you're tapping the trigger on it.
They haven't said that your reserves are going to be expanded. I think it was about 600, if I'm not wrong.
No,
it's
999.
not- Yeah. So it's at least 900 on the weapon because you can right now spin off all 900 shots without even breathing,
Okay.
Yep.
and then you run around going, "I'm out of primary again."
You know what? Primary. You mean special? No, primary. You mean heavy?
Sounds like
No,
a you
primary.
problem.
How do you run out of primary? Sweet business and Actium War Rig.
So our Graviton Lance, as teased last week, 30% PvE damage increase. Sunshot also teased, increases your magazine from 8 to 12. The Vigilance Wing, a PvE damage increase by 25%. So it might make that a viable gun again. Crimson, damage is changed to.
I still see people using that in PvP.
Well, now it's more viable, and they're buffing the PvE damage. Who cares about PvP? No one loves them yet.
Okay, fair.
Your Crimson damage is getting a plus 5.25% increase to both base and precision damage, and they fixed an issue that was causing the weapon to deal higher flinch than intended. So Crimson, back on the menu. Vigilance Wing, back on the menu. Merciless, fixed the missing aim assist stat for this weapon. So did it not have aim assist? Was it not telling you about the aim assist? But they fixed it. It's here now. They fixed the missing stat. They've tracked it down. Yeah, right. Yeah. In October. This all happens in October. Just like the Ace of Spades Momentum Ori damage bonus is now affected by range fall off. I think we should be doing like a call and response. Like for this weapon, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Affected by range fall off. You got it. There you go. Give that man a prize.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner!
The Lumina. You may expect the damage fall off. No. The Noble Rounds should apply their buff to allies more reliably now.
So if you actually shoot it at your ally, it will go there rather than go, oh no, there's some. Oh, there was somebody over the back. Oh no,
Squirrel.
I'm just going to keep going. See if I can catch it. No, I couldn't catch them. Never mind.
No, good try. The colonies serve the colony perk now functions as auto loading holster.
Okay. Explain that one to me, because didn't it already do that?
Let's see. What is that perk and what is it supposed to do? Let's find out.
When you're not using it, it loads.
Serve the colony. Insectoid robot grenades quickly repopulate the magazine from reserves while the colony is unequipped.
Right. So it sounds like auto loading holster.
So it's basically auto-loading holster, but in different words.
And now it's auto-loading holster in the same words, or will be come October. And now we have perks, which, again, these are things I barely remember what they do half the time anyway, before we get to Respawn's favorite one at the end. So, maybe I should look up what these are, and so I can actually say, here's what they are now, and here's what they will be, because I don't know.
So kills partially reload the magazine from reserve, but the reserve cap is reduced.
Okay, so we're going to reduce the impact of the perk on total reserves come Shadowkeep. So I guess it's taking a lot of your reserves. We're going to, make it take less of your reserves so you don't run out of ammunition immediately.
So these are perks that this is the subsistence is a perk that you can get on menagerie weapons like the Stringer and some of the Reckoning weapons. So that's one to look out for on those.
Yeah. The ricochet rounds, they're going to remove the hidden bonus damage to damage. I'm sorry, remove the hidden bonus to damage fall off. So there was a bonus. It's going away now. Oh,
yeah.
Swashbuckler.
Apparently it was. Yeah. Apparently with the ricochet rounds, it says that you get like I think it's plus 10 to range and 5 to stability or something like that. But those stats will still stay on there. It's just the hidden bonus of the damage fall off because at the moment you don't get any damage fall off from the ricochet rounds or very minimal damage fall off. So they've actually kind of identified that. But it's still working now. And it'll still be a good perk, apparently, according to all the Crucible scientists. So still worth having.
And Swashbuckler.
Sounds like Crucible Labs.
Yeah, that's where they work, obviously.
What?
So Swashbuckler, I think this ad answers a question we had a couple weeks back. The perk now activates when getting kills with ball lightning. And isn't that the little warlock melee that sends out the little ball for the extra reach? So you're now going to get that, getting your Swashbuckler off that to do your 5x stack of damage to the weapon you have it on. So again, keep your Swashbuckler weapons because they're a lot of fun even without that. Your Grave Robber is now going to activate when getting a kill with ranged melee attacks, i.e. the ball lightning and the explosive throwing knives. So again, Grave Robber, going to perk on those things as well. Doesn't say anything about
your throwing shield, is that a melee? I think we've discussed this
before.
No, the throwing hammers are melee.
Yeah,
but they
the shield is not exactly. That's what I was just going to say. So the ball lightning for the warlock and the explosive knife for the hunter. They haven't said the throwing hammer is going to proc it. Maybe it already does. Maybe it doesn't. They didn't list it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then should Respawn, should we let you read this one or should I just carry on with the 1-2 punch?
Just carry on. Just keep going.
No. Listen. Right. So
welcome to Respawn's rant.
It's not a rant.
Paid for, sponsored by Glad.
Rant. Listen, here it is. Look,
also sponsored by Now Drinks.
So finally, hunters had a thing so that we could keep up with some of the other classes that are known for punching really hard. Apparently, I'm not allowed to say who they are because Demon gets tilted. But
they're Titans.
You know who you are.
Titans are the punchers.
Right.
Hunters are not
we finally
the
had something that'll put us on level. And even though we didn't intrinsically get a really powerful punch, we had a way to do it with an exotic and a shotgun. Any shotgun that has 1-2 punch, and the exotic, which is the liar's handshake, right? You could punch really, 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 really hard. It was amazing. Right. So the problem with this is now they're reducing the effectiveness of the 1-2 punch combo in relation to how it relates. That sounds so stupid. With how it behaves with the liar's handshake. So remember how you could, punch to death raid bosses or primevals or majors or whatever? Yep. Going away. Not a thing anymore. Just
no, it's not. This is what we were trying to explain to you.
Not
gone away.
It's going away.
They've reduced the effectiveness of stacking the 1-2 punch. That's it. They haven't touched your hunter. You can still cross counter punch. You can still use the shotgun.
Yeah, but I'm saying, look, I know
you can still use Swashbuckler with it if you like.
Reduce the effectiveness. You can't one punch the people anymore. That's what I'm saying.
You can. I tell you what, use it with Swashbuckler.
Yeah.
The damage is not even comparable.
It's
not even close. You punch something with Swashbuckler.
Hello.
Right?
You've joined the podcast and we now have Fallout plays masquerading as Respawn.
I'm not masquerading. You're comparing apples to oranges, man. You're saying, "Oh, a little damage buff from
a 5x damage buff isn't going to help you."
No, especially when the freaking damage buff is like, I don't know what, 200% or some psychotic nonsense with the 1-2 punch. It's insane. It's absolutely bonkers, which is why you can kill raid bosses or primevals or whatever just using the 1-2 punch shotgun and your liar's handshake. Because it is by far the highest buff anywhere in the game. That's in regards to melees specifically, but who knows? Maybe in regards to other things. Not sure. But yeah, so we had something that was letting us have a little fun for a while, right? And what does Bungie do? Right? They're like, hey, Titans, you can one punch people. So we're going to give you a freaking exotic where if you one punch somebody and you kill them, you'll get your punch right back. Not enough? Cool. We're going to give you another exotic where if you jump in the air, you can even one punch people out of supers. Here comes Hunters. Hey, guys, guess what? If you have this shotgun paired with this exotic, we can punch really hard. Bungie, nope, that's got to go. Can't do it. Nope. Yeah. See,
find me the video of the Titan punching the raid boss to death, and I'll agree with you.
No, I never said they could punch a raid boss to death. Did that come out of my mouth at any point in time?
But that's what it gives you the ability to do.
Did that come out of my mouth at any point in time?
Did what?
Exactly. Now the awkward silence. I'm done. I'm just mad that they took away my toy.
You'll find a new toy, and then they'll take that away.
Yeah, exactly.
Come to the dark side, my friend.
I can't.
We have cake.
You know he's going to.
I can't do it.
We have cake.
I can't. I like
Delicious.
cake.
We don't have cake.
Delicious
I like
cake.
But I just can't go. I can't full on Titan. It's not a thing.
We have cake. That's what the bubble. We have punch and cake in the bubble. That's what we serve.
No,
It goes great with punch.
No.
So to go with our weapon change section here, we've got a couple of videos from Fallout Plays and Cool Guy who go over the sandbox changes. And in both the videos, they highlight a few weapons that you want to keep your eye on for Shadowkeep. And just a few examples. I mean, we threw out the Suros earlier, but both of them mentioned the Crimson. Because of the damage bonus that weapon's going to get in PvP, I think Cool Guy compares it to the original Red Death from Destiny 1. And he said, give or take a few little numbers, he said it's basically the same weapon, but in a hand cannon. So if you were around, or if you weren't around for Destiny 1, the Red Death was a pulse rifle, but it's exactly the same kind of model. You get a kill and it'll instantly reload your magazine and give you full health. So with this change, they reckon, both of them, Fallout and Cool Guy, reckon this is a really good weapon to get for PvP. And I think Zer sold it a couple of weeks back, but it may be one that you're still missing if you're coming into Shadowkeep. Try and buy the Fated Engram from Zer, or hope that you get a good drop on it, because it's definitely one to get, and definitely get the catalyst for it as well.
It was like you said, it's just like the Crimson is as far as like its abilities, its perks. But the Crimson has what? Max stability, max range. What was that third stat that it's got that's almost nearly max too? Something else. I can't remember what it is. Handling, I think, right? So range, stability, and handling all maxed out on the Crimson. But the pulse rifle version of it didn't have max stats. Yeah, it would heal you, which was cool, but that's where the similarities kind of stopped, don't you think?
Yeah, impact, range, stability. Yeah, they're all sitting in the 90s at least with the catalyst that gives you the plus 18 to range.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a 55 recoil direction, so it's very vertical, as we've all learned.
Oh, it's super nice.
Another couple of things that they mentioned were the oxygen, which was the pinnacle weapon for Zavala with strikes, wasn't it? Peroty, you mentioned it earlier. That's another good one to kind of
that's when Respawn and I were talking about, hoping it gets good again, or ever.
Because of the scout rifle buff, hopefully that's going to be one that comes back to the top of the meta in PvE, hopefully. And the other one that I think Cool Guy mentioned was Le Monarch with the damage over time. That's going to be interesting. Will the damage over time get a buff as well as the damage that you get from that weapon? And if it does, that one might come to the top of the meta as well. But I recommend watching both the videos because they go over a couple of other weapons that might be worth looking out for, that you might already have, or coming up.
Alrighty, so the Reckoning. If you're grinding through Reckoning like I am, trying to finish your armor sets because you put it all for all of Season of the Drifter and want those stupid triumphs, the Destiny update 2.5.2.2 we talked about last week and already have, made the quality of life changes. The rewards are coming down like candy from heaven. There's all sorts of Destiny, or I'm sorry, all sorts of Reckoning weapons dropping, Gambit Prime weapons dropping, and they're actually in the loot pool, it feels like.
Yeah, and we did that this week, didn't we? We played a
We did.
couple of good games of Reckoning and got a
Yeah.
couple of weapons and things.
Yeah, we got through it, and it actually works now. So if you're looking at Reckoning going, I want to farm this, but I can't. It's terrible. Attrition is eating me alive. Wait till Tuesday, my friends. 2 days from as we record now. Hopefully this will be out by then. Starting September 17th, Respawn. Starting September 17th, all negative modifiers will be removed from Reckoning.
Yeah, I saw
all of them. So we'll continue to feature a weekly Singe with a daily rotation of Brawler, Grenadier, and Heavyweight, but all of the intrinsic Hunter attrition modifiers go away.
So remind me,
as well as all the rest of them.
Is that attrition the one that's always up?
Attrition goes away. Blackout goes away. Prism.
But yeah, attrition was
Prism.
Actually, we weren't going to tell you, but when we were playing Reckoning the other day, I think we were playing on Friday, weren't we? We played it, and it went over the time for reset.
Yes.
It went over the time for reset for like 15 minutes, and we were still on, I think it was melee and attrition.
Yeah.
So we waited, we went back in, and we were playing, and I was like, this is recharging, this is recharging wrong. And we looked at the modifiers and was like, oh, it's still on the old modifiers. Came back out, went back in, and the modifiers still hadn't changed. We still had attrition on, even though the reset had happened. And on the director, it said something completely different to what we actually get in game. We were like, oh my God, Respawn is breaking the game. Attrition is always on.
We can never tell him. He was correct.
He was correct this one time.
We both immediately thought of you, buddy.
Yeah.
The motto of the story is, don't do the game mode straight after the reset. Wait an hour or two until they've only kind of got their servers sorted out.
Because the game will tell you it's one thing, and you'll get in there and go, we have Heavyweight and Blackout. Why do I have a radar, and why do I see little attrition puddles everywhere? Something is very wrong here.
But see, I mean that sounds good, right? And don't get me wrong, that's I mean having no negative modifiers is, at least on the onset of it, a good thing, right? But
now we just need the void snipers to go away from the bridge part. Maybe golden.
But that's kind of the point I'm getting at, right? If you don't have any negative modifiers, then what the hell's the point? It's we would really low challenge.
Me and Peroty were talking about this. That this is what you brought up the other week with the changes to the Rally Barricade and the Well of Radiance. That's now kind of going away as a mechanism for the Reckoning encounters, and then making it harder for us to actually kind of progress through that. They're going to actually remove those negative modifiers to make it come back in line for, make it an even fight. So this is what you actually asked for a couple of weeks ago. You said, how are they going to change what we've got in kind of raids and strikes and the Reckoning? This
but
is what
back
they're
in
going to do with the
D1,
Reckoning.
you had negative modifiers too. I mean,
right, but
you got to have. I'm not saying, hey, put attrition back on always, forever, and ever, amen. Right, but you got to have something. I mean, it's at this point in time.
I can't believe you're not happy with this. I really can't believe you're not happy with it. You are asking a couple of weeks ago.
I'm happy that attrition is going away. Yes, but am I happy that all negative modifiers are going away? No, man.
It's the Reckoning. This may be where they start to pull out of the game, or it may be the end. Like at the end of D1, where they gave us like mayhem strikes and just sort of the end of the year season blowout of all the things. Hey, and maybe Reckoning's going away, or something, and they're saying, hey, if finish this stuff up now, because you won't be able to come some point after Shadowkeep.
Right.
I can't look into the crystal ball and see what Bungie's looking to do, but
I mean that sounds right. Like they're making it easy for everyone to get these weapons before they can't anymore.
Yeah, before they take it out or whatever. Or again in the playtesting they just said without these changes, this is just wait. I mean, again, this is and Reckoning is the game mode they made in response to making us overpowered super gods. Like Luke Smith said, they broke all of their normal design rules to make this game mode. Well, if they're taking all of that away, they've got to do something. And this was probably the easiest thing they could do to say, okay, we could either re-architect this whole thing, take out the stomp mechanics, tune down the snipers, blah blah blah, or just take out the what can we remove to make this easy? Oh, remove the negative modifiers. Okay, we play tested. Okay, it works. People can get through it. That's a quick, easy change. Now we can go back to what we were doing before. I think it could use a major rework, again, in the world we're living in Shadowkeep, but this was probably the quickest and easiest thing they could do to make it a viable game mode still with all the other upcoming changes.
No, I agree with you. It makes it something that people that coming in can actually go and play and enjoy trying to do without kind of having to worry about the negative modifiers. And there's loot at the end.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth doing.
There's actual loot this time. It actually comes from places.
Yeah. I can't remember when this first came out and I started playing the Reckoning and I started getting my Reckoning armor and whatnot. I was like, didn't we have new weapons for Gambit or whatever? So then after that, I started playing just regular Gambit and I didn't see any of the weapons. And I actually had to look it up. I was like, am I wrong? Is it not a thing?
Right. Yeah.
Where's all the weapons?
Did you forget some? Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I got like 5 or 6 curated bug out bag drops before I saw a single other weapon. The Doomsday grenade launcher, I didn't even see until not that long ago. I was like, oh, there's a grenade launcher. Who knew? The Doomsday. Didn't know that was a thing. That one. Had never seen it, had never gotten killed by it. Didn't know what it was.
But yeah, my thing was just like, it's like, blah, 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 right? So exactly.
Good talk.
No, my thing was, it was just, I didn't get any weapons. Not curated bug out bags, not bug out bags at all. Nothing. I was getting blues. Like, what the hell, man?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
You have to complete like some triumph or something? Is it because that's when we were doing the triumph stuff, right? I was like, do we have to do like a triumph to get weapons from here? I mean, what's the catch here, Bungie? Yeah. And then I saw people with like the Gnawing Hunger was the first one I ever got, right? And I saw people running around with all kinds of guns I didn't know the names to. It's like, how the hell are they getting these things? And I wasn't seeing them for like the longest time.
Yeah. Like I said, the bug out bags, I say I got a couple of them. That was over, many, 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 many games of Prime and Reckoning. It wasn't like, oh, I got these all at once. But yeah, it was the only thing I'd even seen. And then I think you shared the link to the thing last week of, hey, there's actually 2 sets of weapons. Some of them drop from the Likeness of Oryx, some of them drop from the big Angry Knights that smash you. Yeah, I didn't realize. Again, they were so infrequent and they just sort of showed up. It's like, oh, it came from something. Okay. Again, and I don't remember if I get them from Prime or Reckoning or whatever. It's just they just come out of the air. They just show up in my inventory. I almost wish it would say, here's where this came from. Like I know in the loot pool, here's where we're going to drop from, but where did this particular weapon come from? Just to satiate my curiosity. But not a big deal.
Satiation.
Activate. All right. And so now we're going to get to everyone's favorite part, the long-awaited reading of every single patch note and every single issue in the Season of Opulence. Just kidding. No, I'm not doing that.
I was going to say, that wasn't in the thing.
You need music. Do I even put the music in? Okay. Cue the music.
You could cue like the beginning of the music because this is a real long list this week. Okay, so next week we're going to get Hotfix 2.5.2.3. The hotfix targets an issue with people are currently having a problem enabling cross save. It also marks the removal of the negative modifiers from Reckoning. That's it. Full stop. They also want to remind you all about the Steam linking in your PC migration and your silver purchases on Battle.net. So if you haven't, seen that giant banner at the top of Bungie.net yet, sort your PC lives out before October or bad things may happen to you. A knight will show up in your bedroom and start hitting you in the head. It'll be bad times. Yeah, that's our entire patch.
Because of Bungie? Hold up a second.
Yeah, that's why the knight's there. It's all Bungie's fault.
Son of a biscuit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all our patch notes. So it should hopefully fix cross save and removes our modifiers. That's all they're telling us about. Maybe there'll be more, but that's it.
Now we have news and information. A roundup of all the news from Twitter's, Reddit, and the forums. What do we have this week, Peroty?
Yeah, at least some of the news. I can't say this is all the news, but at least a little bit of news.
I've got another couple of bits.
Oh, that's good. So we have some sad news. The Mars emblem has been delayed until next week. But happy news, this isn't an issue that will take an update to address. The happier news even yet is we're still on track to give you one additional Menagerie award in chests. So that has actually already happened. So since last Tuesday now, you can get 3 drops of whatever you put into your chalice in Menagerie without having to run back and forth. It just gives you 3 of them. So if you're farming, say, fixed odds, it will give you 3 randomly rolled terrible fixed odds. If you're farming Allstringers, 3 terribly rolled Allstringers. It's great. So yeah, they basically put Menagerie back to the state where it
I love
was
how you added the
beforehand.
terribly rolled, even though it's not
We
in
all know
there.
most of the material.
Oh, if you run Menagerie this week, you know Blue knows, Pan knows. They know the
Everyone
pain
knows.
of you can get 3 of these. None of them are worth keeping, but you'll have 3 of them. It'll be great.
Right. Hey, that's 3 legendary shards, man. Come on.
No,
Exactly.
that's
Don't
9.
please.
That's 9 legendary shards.
You're right.
Ooh.
That's 3 legendary shards a run. Oh no, because they each give you disregard my head.
Hang on. Let the math sink in.
Let's
No.
go to the numbers, man, for the numbers.
I forgot each one gives you 3 shards. Shut up.
That's why I just said 9.
I know. I was thinking of
Okay.
3 weapons, and
Oh,
and I didn't
I
process
tried.
what you said.
I tried to take all the numbers out of the podcast. You brought the numbers back in. Come on, you know you can't.
He brought the numbers in. He mentioned the numbers, not me.
I'm yelling at him, not at you. You know what you
Oh.
did.
I'm sorry.
Someone sounds like he has a guilty conscience over there.
I know
Well.
what I did. So,
I'm already in
DMG
the corner.
also
Leave me alone, man.
on Twitter, DMG has said, I think he was returning an answer to a tweet about the extra rewards for Menagerie. They're going to be removed at the end of the season of Opulence, but they may do a Menagerie week or weekends, kind of like they do for the increased Valor or Infamy. So when Shadowkeep hits, we're going to go back to 1. Sorry, guys. But they do let us know about that. I know. Sad face emoji.
Did you just? No.
Yes, yes,
Yes, I did. I did email you the next part of the additional news and stuff if you wanted to follow along with me, Peroty.
Did you now?
All right.
But
Oh,
you
I-
emailed it to him.
Because he loves me
Look.
more. British dad loves me best. That's
Well, no,
how.
because
it
I
is.
thought he was going to include it in the notes, but he hasn't, so it doesn't matter. You can carry along like everything that I'm saying is just a surprise to you.
Just like normal.
Just like no,
that's,
yeah,
that's
basically.
part of the charm.
Like
Shut
you
up.
haven't read
Shut
the
up.
notes.
That's part of the charm of our little trio. All right, I'm always the clueless one, and then you got the British dad, and then whatever the hell
Why am I
Peroty
British
does.
dad? I don't know why I'm British dad.
Because you're the one. You're the
'cause
only
you're
one that tries to
British.
put us in check.
You're British and a
That's
dad.
why.
Need I say more?
Damn it.
Flawless argument.
Yeah, you've heard the podcast when you're not here. How are you even asking why you're called British dad?
You'd be American dad, Australian dad, but you're British dad. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be less British or have less kids, and you won't be British dad. Sorry, buddy.
Have less kids. 1 kid would still make him British dad, dude.
So Peroty and I this week we drew short straws with watching a YouTube video with Luke Smith doing an interview with
Ooh.
the guys over at Kind of Funny for their podcast, and it's called We Have Cool Friends. And I drew the shortest straw, so I ended up watching it. It's an hour and a half long, but
And that's why
It
we
is
have
a
the
good
straws.
listen. yeah, it is a good listen. In the video, he doesn't really kind of reveal anything about the upcoming Shadowkeep, but he does say that the Weapons 2.0 isn't coming anytime soon. It doesn't kind of say that, that it's not going to happen, but it isn't going to be kind of in the next year, I guess. But what he kind of does go through
Cough,
is
cough, Destiny 3, cough, cough.
no, I think it'd probably be next year, maybe. But what he does go through is his history in the games industry and how he got into Bungie and what parts of Destiny he's kind of worked on. And I was saying to Peroty, it was kind of revealing because what I assumed and where he'd kind of been the spokesperson for some parts of the game going from Destiny and Destiny 2, the way he was positioned on screen was like, this is the guy that's kind of in charge of this is the guy that's that. And maybe I misread it and things, and I kind of in my head blamed him for Destiny 2 and the way that it kind of turned out, because they were saying, he was the game director on this and this part, so he's now come to Destiny 2 and he's moving it forward. And it's like, you've kind of moved it in the wrong kind of direction.
Right.
But it looks like it kind of wasn't him at the helm at the time of Destiny 2. It sounds like him and Mark Noseworthy came on board a bit later. So I'd just like to apologise to Luke for anything that I've ever said in my head about him and anything that I blamed him for.
And that's
I'm
where the
not gonna-
Britishness comes out. You're apologizing for things, not that you said, not that were recorded, but for things you thought. You're apologizing
Yeah.
for thought crime to Luke Smith.
But you know,
I'm not apologizing. For things
so
I've
I'm
thought.
quite glad that I
I'm
actually
apologizing
watched the
for things
video.
I haven't said yet. Give it
No,
time.
but I internally I thought this guy, they're putting him in charge of Shadowkeep. Really, you know, he messed that up. Why is this guy? But I'm going to give him a chance with Shadowkeep because it sounds like he did the Vault of Glass, he did the Taken King, which was really, really good.
Yep.
And if he knocks it out of the park with kind of keeping everybody on the same path for Shadowkeep along the same lines, then I could see that Destiny 2 is going to be really, really good. So I'm sorry, Luke. I know you probably won't even hear this, but I am sorry for
We're
what
not
I
big enough
may have
yet.
said.
We've
or
only
not
got
said in my head.
10,000 downloads.
We're
We're still
sorry
small potatoes.
for the things that he didn't say but thought about saying. Got it.
Yes.
He thinks in his head that you are forgiven for all things you may or may not have thought.
Sure. Also, kind of a shout out. Telling Peroty earlier, we had a fan reached out to me this week. The Dandied Snail. Real good guy. He says he loves the show. He says we really keep him entertained at work. And he also said that he knows the struggles of being a hunter main. To which I replied, "Stay strong, my friend. Our day will come."
He has friended us on Xbox, but then we hadn't had any contact, so we can understand why now. Hunters stick together.
Excellent, excellent.
Which is funny because he didn't friend me.
So he
He
friended.
just messaged
So
me.
he friended or followed the two of us and then talked to you. Okay, so he's like, I'm
That
going to
seems
talk to
to be-
Respawn, but this
that
is more of a
seems to be
one
the-
night stand
You guys are
relationship.
getting the friend request. I'm getting the messages. What the hell?
Us, they're like, we could be in a committed relationship. With Respawn, they're like, this seems more like a one night stand, so I can ghost him situation.
Ouch.
Can't commit to. Hey, I'm not the one who said it. You're just sharing your experience. You're being left, left at the altar, or in the next morning, going, where did you go? Why did I wake up alone again?
Oh, bless.
Ow.
So,
Dude.
tips, tricks, and guides this
Too
week.
close to home.
So, with next week's final Iron Banner of the season, you may want some tips and tricks for the finishing off the quest for your armors.
Is
or
it
the weapon
any
rolls.
different from any of the other Iron Banner tips and tricks that we've had every freaking Iron Banner up to this freaking point?
Calm yourself. Calm yourself.
No. I
So-
asked you a simple yes or no question.
It's
No,
not.
but if you just let me
No.
finish what I'm
He
saying.
just said no. He just said no, and it's not any different. Son of a...
So, if you're looking to complete your armor quest, or you're looking for the best weapon rolls that you might want to get for your Ganora's Axe shotgun, or your Swarm of the Raven grenade launcher, just saying auto-loading holster with spike grenades. So we've got a link for our episode 26, which goes over a guide for the weapons and the armor. So I will link that in the show notes. You have to listen to a whole nother podcast, but it's worth it. Next week, we have the Reckoning again, because we always have the Reckoning. And next week, the rewards for it are Lonesome, the sidearm, the Night Watch Scout, the Soul Survivor Sniper, the Last Man Standing Shotgun, and the Tier 3 only, just in case, sword. So if you are looking for, and again, recommend maybe getting the Lonesome Sidearm, the Night Watch, and the Soul Survivor going forward with some of those buffs that are happening. Next week could be your week to do it.
And the last man standing can roll with 1-2 punch on it. So
No,
Get
but
it while
that's
you
been
can.
nerfed, so we're not highlighting that.
until October. You can
It's
enjoy
already
it for
been
2
said.
weeks.
It's already out there, man.
You can
Oh,
enjoy
yeah.
it for 2 weeks.
It's not going to be that bad.
It's going to be bad enough.
Also, Shattered Throne Dungeon will be back for people doing their Masterwork Solstice armor if you want to kind of do that solo or as a duo.
So when
And-
are you going to carry me through it, and then we complete that again? Since we've already done this the week before we were supposed to.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to do it this week.
Sounds good. Yeah,
We
so
got
it's-
this down, bro.
It's doable with 750 people.
Did
Was
you
lo-
just... What?
Yeah, he
What?
did.
We got this down, bro? What?
Yeah, we got this down, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'm trying to be down with the
you're
kids,
exactly
Ryan.
the British dad. You're because now you're trying to sound like the cool kids. Oh, we got this, bro. What the? No.
I got you, bro.
No.
What's up, guys? Nitedemon here.
What's up, guys?
Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Also,
Okay, sorry.
No, you're not.
the Seed of Light for anybody that's new to Destiny 2. If you want to get your third subclass unlocked, then next week would be a prime time to do it. And lore pages from the Queen's Court for completing the Petra bounty for doing blind well completions in the Dreaming City. Next week's your week for doing that. Also, with all the weapon changes, or with all the changes coming on October 1st that only require one mod in each type for Shadowkeep for the weapons that Peroty went over at the beginning of the show, we've got a video by Mesa Sean that explains a few things in detail for new players coming into Destiny and anybody that's kind of a veteran player, any tips for them. So he goes over the places that you can visit to pick up some of these mods and some of the activities that you can to get some of the other useful mods. So it's actually a good watch and worth watching. It's a 12-minute video for Mesa Sean. And I'll also link the Imager and the Reddit post, which has the weapon mods so you can see. I think there's only 11 weapon mods that you can get, and I've checked and I've got all 11. So I'm definitely gravy for that one. Keeping it in with the kids.
You did it again.
How very on fleek of you, sir.
I am on.
Your mods are
Peroty.
lit, senor.
Yes. Everything is lit, Joel.
Y'all? Everything
Yes.
is lit, y'all?
Yes. Everything is lit, y'all. Yeet.
That's my new ringtone. for Ben. Everything is lit, y'all.
You
I'm
should.
doing it.
Yes, you should adopt all the American Southernisms in the British accent to confuse all the people. I love it.
That would be so freaking hysterical. I can't even begin to tell you.
You write them all down, I'll say them. I don't care.
Panoramics, challenge and request to you, buddy. Please send
Right.
Nitedemon by the next show a list of all the things you want to hear him say.
All
And
of
he
the
will
Southern
do it.
mannerisms.
You heard
All
it
of
here first, and now you're going to hear it next week. Oh, even better. No, I think you need to work them all into one show, unless he sends you a list of like 400,000, which he might. You never know.
Still work them all in one show.
Yeah, it's worth them. It's worth them all into one show.
I
here
can
and
do
there.
that. I can do that.
I like it.
This next link, next couple of links, I heard this creator on the DCP podcast, and my ears pricked up when I heard that he did like build videos, and I was like, somebody else I can go and watch. So I went off and watched him for a few hours. His name is EK. I'm not going to say his full name because I don't know how to pronounce it, but he goes by EK. And
you should say his full name because people can't find EK. They need the full name for the people.
Ekagene. Yes, that's what it is.
Well,
Sounds
no,
good.
You got to say the whole thing. What is it?
I'll spell it out for you. His name is Echo Kilo Uniform Echo. I can't remember the other things. Golf. Alpha. Neon.
That would be November.
November, I know. I'm just pulling your leg. So it's Echo Kilo Uniform Echo Golf Alpha November. And the first video that I want to kind of point you in the direction of, especially for all us Titans out there, is the Heart of Innermost Light breakdown that he does. And he goes over the damage numbers and tricks that you can do to maximize your damage output for it. So I didn't realize with this that you can get a 2x stack with some of the damage that you can put out. So I think he melees something, then puts his rally barricade down, and then throws his grenade out, and he's got a 2x damage hit on the grenade. So it's really worth kind of looking at, seeing what you can kind of do. Really interesting video, and he does it in the.
Sounds like a lot of work for a ×2 grenade. A melee, a barricade, and then throw the grenade.
Yeah, but you get quite a bit of damage, don't you, on the Heart of Innermost Light? The way it works.
Target.
He does it in the tribute hall, so he can kind of show you the numbers. So the next video is a little cool trick that I took into Reckoning this weekend and tried out with the Dune Marchers on the Middle Tree Sunbreaker. Didn't think about it before. I'm sure I've kind of seen it, but I've completely forgot about it. So you throw out your little Thor's hammer and you get the chain lightning with all the enemies, which is really cool. And in the Reckoning, where you've got all those kind of taken just bouncing all over the place, as long as you hit one of those, you get the chain lightning. And that was quite interesting doing that. I did that and got all the way to the final boss.
Dune Marchers works on other subclasses that aren't just the Arc one?
Yep, it does. So you can throw out that Thor hammer from a distance and hit something, and then it will chain all the lightning. So going up the bridge with all the thrall and then all the taken round the likeness of Oryx was pretty cool, because I kind of got the damage buff from that. And that chained up to him as well. And it was going back down to some of the thrall and the taken as well. So that
And
works
with your
really
hammer,
well.
you got to go pick it up, right? So you chuck it, you pick it up, you chuck it again, you pick it
Yeah,
up.
but sometimes if you chuck it at the right angle, it kind of falls back down towards you. So yeah. So that's another video that we're going to link. And then this one is for all those hunters out there. He's got a guide for the instant reload on hunters with the changes coming in Shadowkeep with the rally and the well. He uses smoke bombs and knives, and he goes over what you need and how you need to do it. So that's one for you, Respawn, to go and watch and tell us all about.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, no, but it's really good. I mean, he shows you like the two different smoke bombs on the Shadow Hunter builds. I don't know what they're called. The void
Night
thing.
Stalker?
Yeah, the Night Stalker. So you've got like a poison one that you can use on, is it the middle tree? And then you've got the smoke on the top tree, I believe it is. And he shows you how kind of both of those work and what kind of damage numbers and the amounts of reloads that you can get for each of those. And the same with the throwing knives as well. And he doesn't stop there. He's got quite a few really cool videos. He's got one where he goes over a weapons test for the Doomsday grenade launcher that you can get for the Reckoning Tier 3. Unfortunately, it's this week that we're kind of recording in. So the week after Iron Banner, it'll be up again. But he goes over the kind of god roll that you should be looking for. And I can't remember the perk that you're kind of looking for. But it's the further, I think it's the further that the projectile travels, the more damage it actually gives when it actually hits the target.
Yep.
So that's the perk that you're looking out for on the weapon.
I think it's called Full Court.
That's it. And he goes over kind of what you're looking for and the damage numbers and the distances that you can kind of use it effectively. And that was a really good video.
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone do that. I want to say Fallout Plays, maybe. I think no, the guy that always calls the ogre Greg. What's his name?
Whatever. I think everybody calls it now, Greg.
Well, yeah, okay. So the YouTuber actually did, when he was fighting Greg, you had to go almost out of the freaking area to hit Greg to get the full court bonus. And I think that's a little unrealistic with a grenade launcher that doesn't fly through the air very fast, and an enemy could very easily move out of the way. Unless you got a stationary boss like a raid boss or something like that, it is kind of...
Yeah, that's what he's kind of pointing out for, coming in Shadowkeep with raid bosses encounters. It might be quite useful to know this kind of, or try and grind to get this weapon with that perk on it.
Yeah, okay. It still isn't as good. The full court still isn't as good as the Iron Banner one with spike grenades, though. They did the damage numbers, and the spike grenades from the Iron Banner still does more damage than the full court at max proc. So, something to keep in mind.
So go play your Iron Banner and get your Swarm of the Raven with your spike grenades on it this week.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Fallout Plays, as he does every week, has another one of his breakdown videos where he tests rifle barrel versus full choke on shotguns, as a lot of people have been asking him to do it. In this test, he's gone over a few rolls that have got both perks on the same gun, so you can kind of do a fair assessment. That's worth a watch because, he gives you kind of a really good breakdown of the ranges that these weapons work at and the different barrels and how they work. So definitely worth watching. And then a couple of good ones from Bandwipe this week. He's got a really cool video on how to make your tracking rockets for your rocket launcher work better and the science behind it. And he tests a couple of his kind of tracking rockets and shows you the reasons behind the results. Really worth watching because you may have your, rocket launchers set up incorrectly. Go and watch it and then try it. Especially for kind of Gambit, that's where he was kind of testing it on invaders and invading. So with the kind of changes coming to the machine guns, it's definitely worth kind of having a look at. And his other one that he put out this week was a tips for Middle Tree Striker Titan with the Thunder Crash and the Ballistic Slam. And he shows you some tips and tricks for using the subclass and the exotics that you want to kind of pair with it to make it a really good build. I'm just throwing it out there now because he doesn't mention it, But Monte Carlo auto rifle that's coming back in Shadowkeep, the exotic perk on that was kind of every time you got a kill, it would recharge your melee or a part of your melee. I think it depended. It was kind of a random thing. It would either recharge some of your melee or give you a full melee back. So pairing that with melee mods or upping your intellect, discipline, or strength, I can't remember which one it is going to be in Shadowkeep, may be a really good build. So have a watch of that one. That one's called How to Make a Missile OP. And then we have Cool Guy. He has a video going over some of the underrated perks that are around in the game at the moment and exactly what they do and why they might become relevant in Shadowkeep. They're not flashy, but they are good perks. And the 4 perks that he covers are Firmly Planted, Moving Target, Zen Moment, and Field Prep. And again, he kind of goes through the reasonings why these are really good perks, but they're kind of underrated at the moment. Then we have True Vanguard, has a video where he highlights the Reckoning sidearm, the Lonesome, and he says this is the best sidearm build that he's ever used in Destiny 2. It includes the Demolitionist perk on it, and he uses the Hunter with Shinobu's Vows, which is an exotic gauntlet, which gives you 2 improved skip grenades, and the Enhanced Bomber perk on his boots, whilst playing Arcstrider Way of the Current. Again, there's a lot of gameplay in that, and he shows you kind of how you want to kind of build that kind of hunter build, but that's a very good one to kind of use. And then MTash has a couple of good videos that have helped us this week with the Reckoning. And the first one was a video on how to help with the Lightness of Oryx boss skill in Reckoning's tier 2 and 3 using the Middle Tree Sunbreaker Titan. And I didn't realize it, but you can stun lock the boss while your team DPS her. And me and Peroty took this into Reckoning this week, didn't we, Peroty? And he was the Warlock, dropped his well, and I was the Titan, and I stun locked her. And then we kind of ushered the rest of the team there. They were like, why are these two running to this point?
It's safe.
Yeah, but that worked really, really well. I stun locked her, we dropped the well, and then everybody stood in the well and we did damage. And a couple of times we got it done in less than 30 seconds. And a couple of times we moved, or she moved, because the rest of the team weren't doing DPS long enough. So, but we kind of got it done a couple of times. So it's, if you can get a team to go in there and stun lock her and you can all kind of communicate, or even if there's 2 of you, just because it was me and Peroty, we were able to communicate with who was doing what. So that was quite good. But the second video for MTash is the first one that I came across this week, where MTash was like, hold on, before you farm the boss in Reckoning, do this. And I didn't realize it, and I don't think Peroty did either. What you can do with your Reckoning synthesizer is create a weak moat whilst doing a tier 2 or 3. And this will give you a legendary piece of armor that you can break down for shards. But it also gives you a chance at getting one of 3 rare mods, a minor, major, and boss resistance mod, which helps give you like 50% less damage from your enemies. So he was farming those, and he kind of put a quick video out saying, do this, but also remember you can stun lock as well, which led me to the stun lock video. Yep. So I'll link those in the show notes because those mods might become useful in Shadowkeep. Sweaticles has done a video on the Soul Survivor sniper rifle, which will be coming up in Reckoning next week, and he goes over the perks that you need for that weapon. And I believe, let me just check my one. Where are you, sneaky little monkey?
Do I have to start the music again?
Yep.
Or find the monkey.
That's not the music. That's not the music.
Praising you as our Lord and Savior. Night Demon. Night Demon. Night Demon.
Ah, okay. So in Sweaticle's video that he goes over, the perk that you're looking out for, the main perk, is Firing Line. This weapon deals increased precision damage when 2 or more allies are close by. Also, 4th time's the charm, which is rapidly landing precision hits, will return 2 rounds to the magazine or triple tap. And I luckily had one of those to drop. But it's going to be one with the sniper rifle buff that's coming in Shadowkeep. Maybe really helpful for raid bosses or strikes and things like that. So if you're kind of standing in a group of people sniping the boss, with the Soul Survivor and that firing line perk.
Yeah, what are the numbers though? Are those numbers going to be better than something like the Last Whisper, which is going to be making a comeback, or
The what?
freaking
The what now?
The
Who?
Last Whisper. The Last Whisper, that's a new exotic coming in Shadowkeep that Respawn has kind of just dropped on us.
wait, what?
You mean the Whisper?
Tell me
Yeah.
more about this Last Whisper. Is it like the first Whisper?
The Whisper of the Worm. My bad. I don't know where I got Last Whisper from. It's the
No,
final
I mean
word.
we did mention like a couple of weeks back saying that Whisper of the Worm would be one of those weapons that would come back to the forefront of.
But is it going to do more damage than the Whisper or the freaking the Darcy?
I don't know. We're gonna have to wait for
Yes.
somebody to do a weapon test on both of those.
I'm
But
gonna
Is it
say-
gonna do more
Sweaticles
damage
does
than,
do a
like-
video on why this weapon is going to be really good, and I will link that in the show notes. And finally, our friend Cheese Forever. He has a really good video this week, and he has got some good arguments for putting this video out. He goes over the changes for the armor in Shadowkeep and why it's worse than what our current armor set is. And he goes over numbers of recharge rates of both sets and how stacking will work against what we currently do have. So he does make a good argument for why you might just want to hold on to your current armor sets. So it's worth a watch, because if you're kind of a numbers guy, or you've got certain builds that you want to kind of have going into Shadowkeep, it's definitely worth a watch, because he goes over a lot of numbers of what the recharge rates are for this against what it's going to be. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one.
Also, I was talking that whole time, didn't realize my mic was muted, but I did hear those hunter builds you were talking about. I'll check them out.
Cool.
But I was like, yeah, no, and I was giving feedback whole time, thinking my mic was on. Completely wasn't.
I think that's all my rubbish now.
All right, now that we're through with your rubbish, I want to do one little weapon and more of a perk highlight, because while you're farming Reckoning and Gambit Prime, you need to be looking for the Overflow perk. The Overflow perk
Oh yeah.
is stupid amounts of fun. I am not a hand cannon user. I am not great with hand cannons. I know they exist in the game. I know they can be good. But see, here's the thing.
You don't need to be good.
if
with
you
that
can
many freaking rounds.
if you can get a spare rations with, I don't know, say Overflow on it. So I have a spare rations with Hammer Forge rifling, appended mag, Overflow, and explosive payload on it that has a reload speed masterwork on it. So
Which is
what
a curated
Overflow
role,
does
by the way,
is when you, okay, yeah, it is a curated roll. Thank you. So what Overflow does, when you pick up a special or heavy ammo, it reloads this weapon beyond its normal capacity. It doubles your magazine size in reality.
no matter what, you get
So this weapon, the curated roll, has a magazine of 14. So I run over green or purple ammo. I now have 28 bullets in the clip. I'm not the best hand cannon user, but I now have 28 bullets to try to hit you with before I have to reload.
and
that
those
gives
bullets
me-
explode.
At least a decent advantage. Also, similarly, the curated Gnawing Hunger roll comes with Arrowhead Break, Appended Mag, Overflow, and Rampage. It also has a Handling Masterwork, and I threw a Backup Mag mod into it. So this is what I call the sweeter business. It has a
Right.
magazine size at this point of 56. I run over...
This guy, by the way, has both of these curated roles. So if you want to send him hate mail like I do, feel free.
Yeah, so I look at this magazine of 56. I run over some ammo. I now have 112 bullets in a Gnawing Hunger, a 600 round per minute Gnawing Hunger that I can fire at you before I even have to think about reloading.
Mhm.
So I like it. It makes me happy. The Gnawing
And then
Hunger is
and then I
possibly
have the
my favorite
curated
gun right now.
sidearm, and that curated sidearm does work too. And it's got the same thing. It's got Overflow on it too. And I think I get 39 rounds. No, 38 rounds in my magazine because I put an extended mag, no, a backup mag thing on it. So I get 38 rounds in my sidearm. And the sidearm was already good, but with 38 additional rounds on there, it's even better, man. But yeah, so-
it's you can engage in PvP matches long after the other guy has already gone to reload his hand cannon 3 or 4 times.
Mhm.
You can take that stream of bullets and go, you're going to peak at some point, and when you do, I'm going to take your head off. I have 112 bullets to do it with. And when I
got more
reload,
bullets than you
I'll
have
just-
health. Do-da, do-da. I got more
That's what
bullets
you'll be
than
singing.
You have health. Oh,
Yeah.
do that day.
That's your song. That's what you'll be singing all day, every day. So look for the overflow perk. And with that, we have our clan spotlight. So we'd like to spotlight Biohazardous Pickle this week. Biohazardous Pickle. Spelled exactly how you'd expect
Is that
if
the
you'd given
clan
how to
name
spell
or
it.
the guy that's in charge of the clan?
That's the clan name, Biohazardous
that's
Pickle,
awesome.
which I can't do anything but love. They play on the PC. And this was sent to us by Who Knew 1985. So he says, I've been playing Destiny 2 for about 4 months. I have 2 friends that introduced me to the game, and I've been enjoying it. I began listening to your podcast 6 weeks ago. I have an office job and enjoy the conversations and discussions you all have. Your podcast gives me an avenue to think about one of my favorite games. No one respawns in real life's unpredictable reactions make me smile and laugh, while you and Nitedemon keep the tempo for the show informative. So if you're looking for a clan on PC, go check out Biohazardous Pickle. Give Who Knew, WHOKNEW 1985 a shout. Tell him where you found him. Go join his clan. Play on PC. Go be the biohazardous pickle you know you want to be.
I can have 2 different clans.
You cannot.
Can I have...
Well, no. You can turn off cross save, and you can have 2 different clans.
It's already on.
You can turn it off again.
I don't want to.
Have you tried turning it off and keeping it off?
Just know, Biohazardous Pickle. If I could have 2 clans, you would be my pick. You probably wouldn't accept me.
They pick you.
Exactly.
that is the question. So yeah, I don't have a.
Unfortunately, somebody let you in our clan and can't get rid of you.
Yeah, and then you were on the podcast and mistakes were made. But yeah, if you're looking for a clan on PC, go check out Biohazardous Pickle. It's a phenomenal name. They're phenomenal people. I assure you. Go hang out with them. They need some love.
So,
and we'll put a link in the show notes to their clan so you can join it.
The fact that he said that my unpredictable reactions. Somebody recently in a party said that I am predictable. I know it's weird, right?
No, we can predict you.
Yeah,
we know.
Those of us
we
who
can say
know
something,
you.
and we can trigger you, so we can
right,
predict.
That's what he said. No, hold on, let me finish. He put this in the form of like a formula, right? He says, imagine respawn is a formula, and the variable is the random nonsense that he's going to say. Right? So that variable is going to change, but just know that no matter what that variable changes to, you always know he's going to do something crazy or stupid. And such that makes him predictable. You don't know what he's going to do, but you know he's going to do something crazy and or stupid, and therefore predictable. And I was like,
respawn,
when you break it down that way, that makes way too much sense, dude. Stop being intelligent. What are you doing?
You may have to join this clan. You know what their short name is that shows up in the game is?
BPC.
Rage. So I think you found your people. And there's right now it's only the 3 of them. It's Who Knew. Pickle Nut is the founder, and Biohazard 67 is there as well. So if you want to go hang out with those guys on PC, go join them. They could use some love.
That's right.
Again, we'll put a link to the clan in the show notes.
Get kicked out of the Frozen clan. That's where I'm going.
Although they may have already pre-kicked you out of that clan, it's hard to say. It is invite only, so you're gonna have to prove that you are pickly enough for them.
That's right.
Yeah, they've actually blacklisted you already.
Yep, it's him. Banned. Wait, what? Wait a second. Hold up. That's not how this is supposed to go down.
All right. I'm also going to throw. There's a couple links to in-depth graphs I found of people doing weapon damage things and looking at the changes coming up to Shadowkeep. I'm going to put those links in the show note. You can dive into those spreadsheets. We're not going to read them. I didn't send them to Nitedemon, so he wouldn't read you every number in them. But
maybe
I will send them to
Nitedemon.
Yeah, I'll send them to Nitedemon now because people have done some PvE trying. Some of us trying to soothsay the changes.
Don't send them to him now.
Exactly.
He's still going to read them on there.
Right, exactly.
We're only 2 hours in. We could record for another hour.
Are we 2 hours in? What the shiznit?
I told you, man. I told you. So I think unless you guys have anything else, I think it's time to close the show.
Oh no, we do have something else.
What else do we have?
Respawn has something to say.
I have something to say? What do I have to say?
Always has something to say. Tell people about our lovely competition, Respawn.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we still have the ongoing competition where somebody out there, everybody out there, maybe not even you, somebody that you know, somebody that you love, somebody that you hate. Anyway, come up with a good intro for our show. that introduces myself, Peroty, and Nitedemon. It could be anything that you think is good. I would prefer something that I think is comical. But again, there are judges. I may or may not be one of them. So wink, wink. Of those intros, we're going to pick the top 3 that we think are the best. And then of those 3, we're going to do a random lotto. And somebody's going to get a really, really cool emblem that our friend Cheese Forever gave us. It's the little heart emblems that I can't remember the name of, even though
System of Peace.
That one. And it's a good emblem. I like it. I'm a fan. I tried to steal it, and Nitedemon wouldn't give me the code for obvious reasons, I suppose. And but yeah, so anyway, give us your best intro for the 3 of us, and the top 3 one of you will randomly get picked for this really, really sweet looking emblem. So looking forward to seeing those. Looking forward to reading the best one that we get on the first podcast after the contest is over. And then didn't we decide that subsequent podcasts we would still read off the top 3 just one at a time? Wasn't that what we decided?
Yes, all of that.
Okay, yeah. So everybody will get read. The top 3 will get read, but only the random winner will get read first and get the emblem. So get to it, gentlemen.
So
and
when
ladies,
does this contest end? How long do I have to enter it?
We never decided that.
No.
I don't know.
We'll wait until we get some, really good entries. Yeah. It may go for the next year.
Yeah, we'll keep you up to date, man. I mean, if we get 3 really, really good ones this week, it might be over next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
What can you guys send us?
So act now. Supplies are limited. Operators are standing by.
Yes.
Forever hold your peace? Question mark?
And I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to you for listening.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you to you for downloading this episode. Downloading all our episodes. Putting
you
up
don't listen
with
to Respawn.
all of us all the time when you do download. Thank you for putting up with Respawn. Thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for putting up with the raccoons, the dolphins, the ducks, the farmyard.
My inability to speak, Nitedemon's inability to read, Respawn's inability to retain information. We appreciate you hanging out with us as long as you have through. This will be 34 episodes of nonsense we put out into your brain. So thank you.
Yes.
Wait, we've only got 34 episodes and over 10,000 downloads. I just realized that. I mean, having over 10,000 downloads, yeah, that's cool.
That's why we're saying thank you.
Remember that thing?
Respawn, say thank you.
Listen to us more. Spread us to your friends, family, loved ones, and enemies.
Remember that thing we said about not retaining information? We weren't lying. Send help.
No, wait, hold on. No, wait. Give me a second. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I what does it say here? Hold on. Give me a second. The way he writes is weird. Hold on. Okay. I appreciate all of the listenerines.
Just I appreciate you, the listener.
I appreciate all of the listeners. That's right. He made it look like listenerine. Sorry. All of the listeners for listening to our show, and yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, and stuff and all that. Yeah.
Now I think we've covered everything.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Your Titans this week have been Peroty and Nitedemon. Your hunter is no one responds in real life. You can email the show with your fantastic contest entries at twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Mm-hmm. Hit us up on Twitter at twotitans_hunter. Find us on Facebook. Lurk on us on Instagram. You could join the Frozen Clan, but we don't want you. Go join Hazardous Pickle. Join the Hazardous Pickle Clan. They need love. Find your favorite Guardians on Xbox Live. You can watch the show on YouTube. Listen to the show everywhere you can find the show. Beware the butts. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Oh, we both did the same thing.
Oh,
Now I think we've covered everything.
Excellent. So yeah, send us your contest entries. We'll be back next week unless we're all hit by butts. But hit by butts. Yes. Well, that's going to the end of the show. Oh, jeez. I like long podcasts and I cannot lie. You other Destiny shows can't deny.
Oh my word.
Sir Mix-a-Lot is our guest speaker this week.
Yes, you are welcome. Night Demon, you're welcome, buddy. It's my gift to you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be back next week unless we're hit by a bunch of butts. I'm trying to imagine a scenario. I mean, are they lining up to hit us, or is it going to be like the Ninja Turtles? You know, where they all crush you at the same time? I mean, what's the scenario here, man?
The answer is yes.
Unless we're crushed by a bunch of butts.
Butts. It's all the same thing. All right.
Just like again.
This is no. I think we're done. I think we just end the show with that and be like, nope.
This is what you get.
We've been who we are. You know where to find us.
That's right. You know what you're getting into every time you push that download or that play button. So don't come at us like you have no idea the insanity that occurs on this.
Yes, this is why we should. This is why we can't do a live show.
Right.